I have to say, for 1 week, that had a surprising amount of traction. I actually was on NPR one morning talking about it for 3 minutes, where I got ambushed by a guy who claimed that we'd ripped off the global warming movie, An Inconvenient Truth, and that was good. And then it was like, it ended up in all these reviews. It was just sort of a, weird little thing, and we didn't predict it, but it's nice when it happens. So, just when you're done patting yourself on the back because you think you're so great, and you go, oh yeah, we're great. Well, it's time to get your ass kicked. And I mean this in the best of ways, because sometimes you just know you've been beat. In the last year, there have been a couple things that just, kick my ass. Just things they're so good that I just stare at it and hang my head, and I just, work I don't even know I could do it. I don't know how they do it. I mean, images I've never thought of, things like just whatever. And this is not the empowering joy of seeing Scott Pilgrim. This is the humbling experience of being bludgeoned by someone else's awesomeness. And, all you can do is you just got to sit back and take it like medicine, because it reminds you that there's always great work being done, and that you just have to try and, bring your best, and that you just have to keep playing and working your own way. And there's a number of things that I could have picked here. I considered the titles to Zombieland, which were staggering, if anybody saw that. Then there's the DC Universe game trailer from Blur, which was, also just the best Superman story told in the last 20 years. But in the end, I had to choose just one thing for time and also just, to make my point. And the images are spectacular, and ultimately, it just fits so in kind of the world that I already live in that it just kind of felt natural for me to show this. And so the sound of thunking that you're going to hear is my jaw on the floor. And the other thing I'd like to say is I'm actually not sucking up to Eric when we show the Sucker Punch trailer.
You are safe. It's all safe. What you're imagining right now, that place can be as real as any pain. Don't be afraid. You have all the weapons you need. Your fight for survival starts right now. I'm gonna escape from here. There's armed guards everywhere. If Blue finds out, we're dead. We're already dead.
This is your journey. If you succeed, it will set you free.
Damn. I can't, I just... that was for you, Eric, by the way. You might notice that I do a lot of work with Night Shyamalan, and I've worked on all of his films since The Sixth Sense except one. He's been a very good client to us, and a mutual relationship that benefits him and benefits me and benefits everyone at Picture Mill. I even had the fortunate opportunity of being the second unit director on The Happening for him. And I have written trailers and conceived visual effects sequences and designed and edited and animated for all of his films. And we also worked on The Last Airbender. Now, no one saw The Last Airbender. Now, see, no one admits to seeing The Last Airbender, but people did see it, obviously. The movie was really brutalized, and I think somewhat unfairly for lots of reasons. But the end title sequence is very much a personal film directed by myself and Brian Toombs, and it's because of that relationship with Night. We didn't have a lot of time to complete the sequence for various reasons, too boring to mention, so we had to work fast. And a lot of decisions were made on a whiteboard in my office. And here's some things. It's a fire snake with some thing. That's fire colliding with water. And then this next one is the last shot of the sequence where our hero is jumping from giant rock to giant rock with some type on it, right? You guys get that? Yeah? Fortunately, Brian does. Anyway, it takes me about 20 seconds to draw these things, and I really am particularly fond of the second one. But it takes weeks for the visual effects team to make the doodles. And most of the sequence for The Last Airbender was designed with little drawings like these. And by drawing the ideas first, it was a much more indirect and expressive way for us to think about the sequence. And I was able to follow my instincts faster, and Brian and I to talk very, very quickly about what we were going to do. It was also led us to be more connected to the work because, we'd started with such a kind of a quick thing. I mean, it was like this almost, kind of flood of ideas that kind of came out, and we just were sort of making that happen. And the reason I say this is a personal film for myself and Brian is not because we had, a lot to say about, the universe and our deep thoughts, but because we had very little guidance or interaction from the director. We were just mostly left to our own devices. We made all these decisions on the whiteboard about what this title sequence is going to be, and we did what we thought was best for the sequence and for the film as a whole, and Knight trusted us to follow our instincts and to make the right sequence for his film, which we did. And we've talked about clients and difficult clients and thousands of notes, and we worked on this for several weeks, and we got 3 notes. So I think that says something about our relationship with him. But let's take a look at the final product, which is a little fancier than my marker drawings. Brian Toombs, everyone.